Referencing your songs can be a crucial part of your mix and mastering process. There are different ways you might want to use reference tracks, from trying to match your favourite master of another song, similar artist and genre, or getting consistency on a group of tracks for an album. Maybe you're just working on one song and you want to compare the different masters so you can pick your favourite. The newly updated plugin by Mastering the Mix called Reference 2 is a fantastic tool designed to help you accurately compare up to 12 reference tracks with your original, all from within your DAW. And the RefSend plugin that comes with it also opens up some cool ways to reference your music. Let's check it out. Okay, so it's important to put reference 2 on the master bus at the end of all the other devices after your meters and everything. And as you can see, the interface is clear, it's very clean to look at, easy to read, very modern looking. You can also toggle a minimal mode here, and there is some resizing you can do in the corner. Okay, so to begin with, let me add a reference track. Now, the track you add, this could be a similar genre, a similar artist, a similar song that you're trying to compare yours with, one that you're trying to match, or it could be another song off the album that you've been working on, so you can get all your songs to sound similar. It could also be maybe a song that your client sent you. If you're working on a song of another artist, maybe they've sent you a reference track that they'd like you to use. Okay, so now that's loaded in there. That's the original track playing now. And I can switch over to reference. Now I'm hearing this. First thing I'm going to do, I want to make sure this level match is turned on. You can hear that change. It's important to make sure that my original and the reference are equal in perceived loudness. If they're not, the one that's louder I might think sounds bassier or maybe have a brighter top end, even though it doesn't. By turning on level match, this will stop that from happening, stop me getting that bias. This has different modes here as well, you can see. Normally we just use match to original. There are other modes. The -14 short-term LUFS, that one's good for streaming. And just be careful as well that when you use some of these, like match to quietest and the short-term LUFS one, that it may affect the output on your master channel. So you might have to bypass reference 2 when you export your final audio. But let's just leave it on match to original for now. Okay, I can also make some loops as easy as clicking. This is just on my reference track. Now I can quickly go between different parts that I might want to compare. Now I'm just going to use this loop here, I think that one will do. I can easily click between the original and the reference just here, and this can be assigned to a key. You can see there in the settings it's on cursor left at the minute, but you can map that to something else. Now the part about reference 2 that really stood out to me is this Trinity Display at the bottom here. You have 3 different things displayed here: a level line, punch dots and stereo width. These can be shown individually or all together like I am. Okay, so let's start with the level line and have a look at this. This is comparing the original and the reference track together, remember. So this isn't telling you exactly what's right, this is literally telling you the differences between the two. Now, where this line is going above the 0 decibel mark, it's showing that there's more perceived loudness, there's more power in that frequency range. And where it's dropping down, that's basically saying there's less power, there's less energy there. Now my ears are reflecting this, I can hear the difference between the original and the reference. The reference is a lot brighter, and in the original it's a lot duller sounding, and that's reflected by this level line. You can also change the way this looks in the settings, so instead of it being different, it will match. Now basically what this is doing, if you look at it, you can see it's basically telling you that you need to boost that part of the frequency to get it to sound more like the reference. So that can be really handy as well, but I'm going to put it back on the other mode. Now I'll just quickly go over the punch dots. These are basically looking at the dynamic range of the tracks and comparing the two together. Now both these, the original and the reference, are quite punchy. And that's shown by these dots moving away from the frequency from the middle line. If these were going the other way and moving inwards, they'd be showing you that this is more compressed or less dynamic than the reference track. But right now both are pretty punchy. That's quite a handy thing though, that can be really helpful, especially showing you where areas are too compressed. Okay, and finally we've got the stereo width. Now this is probably the easiest to visualise and understand. Middle line being, very tight, being mono, and then you've got the width going up the frequency range. So on this original you can see that around here it's quite wide, but it's got a very narrow bottom end and top end, whereas the reference has got a very tight bottom end, which is what you want, slowly opening up towards the top end. Now something I'm going to do is use my own plugins in that, and I'm going to try and get my original to try and match the reference a bit more. Try and get this stereo width to resemble this, instead of it being all around here. And try and brighten up this part as well. Okay, so now I've added some plugins, you can see this level line and the stereo width resembles a lot more like the reference track now. See, they're very close now, and my ears as well, I can hear the same. The original is a lot brighter now, and it does sort of resemble the reference a lot better. Obviously these songs aren't finished productions and they need a lot of work, but it gives you a good idea of what you can do with this plugin. Now to get the original more like the reference, what I've done is I've used a bit of EQ, and I've got some other plugins like multiband dynamics and some imaging there. Yeah, you can see I've boosted that top end here. So just some subtle changes has really made a difference to the mix, and these were really easy to achieve by using this Trinity Display. But there's a lot more we can do with this plugin as well, so let's keep going. Now Reference 2 also comes with another handy little thing called ref send. And what a lot of producers do is they like to put it on the start of the master bus, which I'll just quickly do now. And as soon as I've added this on here, you can see it's appeared in Reference 2. And this is now going to reference the audio here before the effects that I've got on my master bus. So basically I'm getting to AB, the original, and now the reference. So let's just listen to that quickly. So there's the original with all the effects on. And now I'm hearing the reference, which is coming straight from here before that. And that's basically how the song was before. Now you can see it might be being a little bit weird, so if that happens you need to just click the reset. Good thing to remember. Okay, now there's another little trick I like doing with that reference send, because what I can do, if I want to A/B it, instead of using the reference send there, I could just turn this off and quickly bounce out the audio. And now I can add that as a reference track. So that will now be the same as what I was hearing from ref send here. And then what I'm going to do, I know a lot of people like checking their work in mono. So I've created this. It's just an audio effect rack, and it's got two chains in it. The chain here, as you can see, that one's enabled, it's unmuted, and there's no effects or anything, that's just letting the audio go through as normal. Now the chain on top, that one I've muted. I don't want it to go through to my final export. But what I do want is to change everything to mono. So I've got a utility here with the width set to 0. I know that's not the best way of doing it. You might have a different plugin you want to use. And then I'm going to take my ref send and I'm going to put that after the utility. Now what's going to happen is this is going to send a mono version of the mix I'm working on into my reference. So now let's just check that out. So at the minute I'm playing the original, and now let's listen to the reference, which is the mono version. And you see straight away that's tightened up on the spectral image. Now the good thing about this and what I like is I've still got the other reference tracks as well. So I've still got the other track with the loops that I can go back to and listen to. I've still got my AB version as it is, you know, with without the master effects on. And then in my reference end I've got a mono version as well. So I can quickly and easily compare the different versions. I get all this nice visual feedback as well. You can see some of these punch dots are changing as well as I go through different versions. And again, remember, don't forget that little reset button if you need it, just to make sure you're getting the right visual feedback. So yeah, this Trinity Display, it's really powerful. I really like the way this tool works. So yeah, I'm sure you'll agree that Reference 2 is a clever and quirky tool, and it will certainly assist you in all of your mixing and mastering projects. I'm going to be using it quite a lot, I think. And thank you to Tom and everyone at Mastering the Mix for bringing this to us. I hope this video has encouraged you to use reference tracks if you've not already been doing so, and don't forget to slam that subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and see you again next time.
I keep on listening to your love.